I left. And the van wasn't ready. But I just felt like summer was slipping away. So I gave myself permission to go. And sometimes you just have to choose what's in your heart, even if it's a little messy. And it's been messy. That first night, we found ourselves tucked away on some beautiful state forest land. Nothing fancy, just quiet, surrounded by trees, sprinkled with wildflowers. It was a much-needed, peaceful rest after that hard drive. But, sadly, the challenges didn't stop there. Good morning. It's a cold one. It's hard to believe it got down in the 40s last night. And back home, most of the United States have been having like heat indexes of 110, 115. But up here in the lake, it got in the 40s, and right now it's 51. I've got a sweater and a hoodie, long sleeves, socks, and I'm under the quilt, and it is cold. But that's why I came north, right? Yesterday was rough. I was fighting thoughts of turning back and going home. I talk about my electrical system a lot. That was the big change I wanted to make in this last rework of Mother Maybelle. And the electrical system I took out and put back in, I lost count 5 or 6 times during this last build. And yesterday and somewhat the day before, it just was not working quite right. And last night my fridge aired out, which was the big thing that I'd been trying to solve. I have a little Steelite, tiny little portable battery, and it shows the watts coming in as it charges, and it kept cycling from 0 to 20, 0 to 20 watts. And my phone wouldn't charge on the other plugs, and you are gonna laugh at me when you hear this. I didn't even think to check the easiest thing, and that was whether the batteries were empty. Well, the thought finally occurred to me this morning, and I checked them, and they are very empty. So I have Mother Maybelle running right now. I have a DC to DC charger, so my house batteries will charge off of the alternator. So I'm recharging it now. I don't know if that's the answer to all the issues I was having, because I'd been noticing quirky little things for over a day. But maybe it is. I'll give it a chance, and I won't go back home. But I wouldn't mind leaving the mosquitoes behind. They're no joke. I'm getting bit even when I don't feel that I'm getting bit. I just find out later that I have someplace that itches and welts. Even with all the challenges, there was so much beauty around us. Our first full day was spent soaking in the beauty of the incredible lake. Actually, I should say lakes, because it was here where we landed at Mackinaw City that Lake Huron turns into Lake Michigan. For me, being near the water is incredibly calming. I love hearing the lapping waves and seeing the sunlight sparkle on the surface of the water. Mackinaw City is exactly what you'd expect. Charming, a bit touristy, and not friendly for overnight parking. It wasn't in my plan to go to Mackinac Island, but this is the jumping off point for all of the tourists who do.
Turn right onto East DePaster Street.
What fascinated me was the Mackinaw Bridge. Oh my goodness, it looks like it's descending right into the lake. The Mackinaw Bridge stretches for 5 miles. It's one of the longest suspension bridges in the world. The bridge was the dream of Prentice Marsh Brown. He was prosecuting attorney for Mackinaw County. He missed an important argument before the Michigan Supreme Court because the ice on the Straits of Mackinac made travel impossible. He had tried to walk it. From that moment on, he relentlessly lobbied for a bridge to connect Michigan's Upper Peninsula with the Lower Mitten part. Building that bridge was no easy feat. It took 3 hard years because of the harsh climate, and tragically 5 men lost their lives. So to me, this wasn't just a bridge. It was a symbol of perseverance and vision and sacrifice, and a powerful lesson in just keeping at it. After crossing Mackinaw Bridge, we landed in St. Ignace, and things immediately felt easier. I found this wonderful camping spot right on the lake, level with the water. It was beautiful. Lots of mosquitoes, but even they couldn't ruin the peace of that view. And speaking of peace, I found several moments of peace on this beautiful hike that June and I took along the lake. There were wildflowers all along the hike, ones that I didn't know, and they were stunning. And I want to share them with you. And as I share the wildflowers, I also want to share a story that the local Ojibwe tell about the wildflower we call Lady Slipper. I didn't see any lady slippers on this hike, but I still want to share the story because it's a powerful tale about perseverance, sacrifice, and the beauty that can come from hardship. Many winters ago, by the Great Lake, lived an Ojibwe girl devoted to her brave older brother, who was the village messenger. He also loved his sister dearly and taught her all of his skills, though he never let her help him. One harsh winter, a strange fever swept through their village, leaving everyone gravely ill. The chief knew of a distant medicine woman across the straits who would have the cure, but the journey across the ice was deadly. Just as her messenger brother was to make the trip, he too fell ill. The Ojibwe girl knew she had to act. Despite the storm, she decided to take his place and embark on the perilous journey herself. In the bitter cold dawn, she slipped out, bundled in her warmest furs and moccasins. She danced lightly across the treacherous, ice-covered straits, guided only by the faint lights of the distant village. When she reached the village, she shared the desperate need of her people and received the vital herbs from the medicine woman. Despite her exhaustion, her heart urged her to return immediately to save her people. Unable to wait for the storm to break, she ventured back alone. The snow had become too deep for walking, but remembering her brother's lessons, she began to swim through the drifts, letting the snow support her. She eventually reached her home shore, but her moccasins were lost. Her bare feet were raw and bleeding, leaving crimson footprints in the snow as she stumbled towards her home. The medicine she brought saved her village, and that spring, she and her brother went to search for her moccasins. But they didn't find them. Everywhere her bleeding feet had touched the snow, there were now beautiful pink and white flowers, shaped just like her moccasins. The Ojibwe people named them Moccasin-wa Bigwan, a symbol of her courage and sacrifice. So my first week on the road, it's been a true test. There were moments of real struggle. The heat, the electrical issues, the mind games, but there were some incredible moments. The overwhelming structure and accomplishment of the Mackinaw Bridge, the calming beauty of the lakes and the wildflowers. This all reinforced something important for me. This journey isn't about perfection. It's about choosing to keep moving forward. Finding joy even when things don't go exactly as I planned. So that was our week. Now I'd like to hear from you. Have you ever taken a big trip like this? What was the biggest surprise or challenge during your first days? I hope you'll put it in the comments below because I'd love to read it. Thank you for the kisses too. And if you'd like to keep following our journey across the U.S., then just hit the subscribe button below. We'd love to have you along. So now it's time. On to what awaits us in week 2.